Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is the biggest problem with lyrics today. Now, for this video, okay, I'm going to discuss the biggest problem with it so you understand why this, to be honest with you, is a problem, so it can obviously be fixed. So now that I've mentioned that, let's get started. So, what is exactly the biggest problem with lyrics today? The simple biggest problem with lyrics today, believe it or not, is simply the fact that lyrics are talk too much about relationships. Now, when it comes to this particular issue about talking about relationships, the truth of the matter is, when it comes to talking about relationships is quite toxic and repetitive as well as boring. Not because there's anything wrong about talking about relationships, but because it's so freaking oversaturated. To be quite honest with you, to be honest with you, literally not even 90%, 95% or more songs for popular music is about relationships. Which obviously, no surprise, when you do one thing too often, it gets boring and repetitive. And that is exactly a problem, because when you listen to music, aside from the fact that obviously everyone is different, so we have different interests, alongside the fact that also people have different moods, sometimes you want to listen to something that obviously captures your specific mood that you're in. Not just, listen to a song that talks about one specific thing and you try to, of course, in the process, because you're not in the mood for it, just try to make something up in your head. Like, no, that's not how it should work. You should have something specifically for you. Okay, and that's the biggest problem with lyrics today, is that it always have it's always just about relationships, and it gets old, it gets boring and repetitive, and that's exactly the truth of the matter is. So what I think there should be, of course, specifically, to be quite specific, is there should be a greater diversity. There should be songs, if anything, that talk about maybe going partying, specifically about partying, not using partying as a way to talk about a particular relationship thing, okay? There should be songs, like I was saying, that talk about partying. There should be songs that talk about going through struggles in life and overcoming them. There should be songs that talk about, for example, easily, if anything, the high life they live, or whatever things you can imagine, okay? The truth of the matter is there should be something for everybody in every mood you are in. Just talking about relationships over time just gets really boring and stagnant and tiresome. And I feel, if anything, it kind of contributes to people taking easy ways out. Like, for example, listen to songs like, particularly for rap music, listen to songs that talk about, maybe not the most positivest of things. As I'm certain you're aware, it's been a huge stigma against rap since its inception. So because of course they're tired of it. All you guys just talk about is relationship all the time. Like, how long can you really hear about the same thing over and over and over again until you get tired of it? The truth of the matter is, and that's all they talk about. And the truth of the matter is, in the world we live in, especially today, there's a lot of good reasons why you shouldn't be focused on relationships anytime soon. But on the real though, a lot of women have some straight up thoughts. So I'm not wasting my time getting a relationship and going through all this bullshit and all this stupid shit all the time. Sometimes, I might, of course, it's good to get in one at some point. But the truth of the matter is, even aside from the modern culture, relationships are hard, they're stressful, it's a lot of work, and no matter how you look at it, how much you get along with that person, and literally she might be perfect for you, pretty much, at least, if anything, whatever attraction, or even just straight up down to just likability and all that type of stuff. It's inevitable at some points you're gonna have arguments and issues with each other, So, like, because no two human beings are exactly the same, as well as agree on everything. So, why do I want to focus my time on thinking about that type of shit? Like, sometimes in life, you just want to think about something for fun and something to kind of course, take your mind off of that type of stuff. It's not a joke and it's very serious. And if I'm just hearing about relationships all the time, relationships, it gets stressful, you know? And that's exactly what I'm trying to get across here, if anything. Sometimes in life you just want to just chill. Like, no, my God, like, like we're not like living in this utopia where they're just gonna play songs that talk about this to promote it or something. Like that's like no, it's just annoying and irritating at this point. So that's the truth about what I feel about it. Because people want something to kind of relax and enjoy themselves. Not everyone's in a mood for getting in arguments, or well, not even getting in arguments, but not everyone's in the mood for just hearing about that. Okay? And aside from the fact that obviously it could be a bit of a stressor because it kind of reminds you about relationships and why they're a lot of work, it also comes simply down to the fact as well, to add to that, it just gets boring. Not all the time I want to hear songs about people's relationships and a relationship drama, which also adds to my point. Most times people talk about relationships, they talk about drama and all the issues they have in it, and that's not good for your head and your mind. And not even just that, it just gets, as I was saying before, boring. You want to have something to kind of entertain you and give you other things to think about. I don't just want to hear things about relationships all the freaking time. It gets old and boring and tiresome. I want something different for a change. My God, like, it just so stressful. No wonder why we have a lot of people who are so sick and tired of that topic and stuff. So that is the truth of the matter. We need to really start branching off and talking about other things and moving on and thinking about new things. Because just talking about relationships for music is just not good for music. Because to give it the best feel, you have to have a diversity of things to talk about. You have to have many different things you want to talk about. Just talking about that is just boring. So anyway, this is my video. I hope you found it informative and enjoyable. Just remember, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all to say, and simply put it, I'm out. So bye.